O.J. McDuffie is with us. It is Super Bowl week. I think just about everyone that we've spoken with this week, maybe with the exception of one, has picked the Eagles to win the Super Bowl on Sunday. So how do you see Sunday playing out?
Oh man, I can't go against my homie. You know what I mean? I can't go. You know why? I really, honestly, obviously I have no dog in the fight, but I do have one kind of a dog in the fight, and his name Trent McDuffie, and he spells his name right. You know what I mean? So that rookie corner that spells it with an IE is like he's probably dissing family. So I got to root for family if that's what I'm calling it right now. So that's why I'm going with Chiefs and my homie. That's for damn sure.
And the matchup, the old school versus new school is what we've been talking about all week, Juice. Can the Eagles run the ball and play good defense and be the high-flying, air raid, Patrick Mahomes-led offense? That's what I think the game comes down to. Eagles defense, how much can they stymie? You're not going to shut them down. You just got to slow down the Kansas City Chiefs.
Can you, though? That's a question, man. You look at what Kelsey does as a tight end. I was watching the game, and it's nice to see those cameras that are on him. You saw what he does, Chad. You guard that guy. He's checking, he's blocking, he's helping. And then he leaks, you know what I mean? And then next thing you know, he's got a game 15 yards. And that's how he ends up with like 12 to 14 targets a game. He's an extension of the run game with that. Now you get 2 weeks also Mahomes getting healthy. I thought he was done in the AFC Championship game. I said, there's no way a week. We've seen these injuries. There's no way guys can come back. And he didn't take the shot either. I said, there's no way that he can come out there and be himself. And he was not quite himself, but he was hella good, right? Now you give him 2 more weeks, to get ready for the Super Bowl. I just think that, the Chiefs are the team to beat, and they won't be, they won't be a deer in headlights in this situation because they've been there, done that.
That's the thing that I'm having a tough time with because the Eagles are favorites. They're 1.5 favorites. They were larger favorites when the line first came out. Everyone seems to be thinking the way that Crowder is, Philly's defense is so great. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Until I see Patrick Mahomes fall flat on his face, I kind of got to side with him. And you do have a new kid. Jalen Hurts is a young guy, and this is the big stage for the first time for him. So I have that same pull because we've been talking about it all week because Crowder's high on the Eagles. Solana loves the Chiefs. I'm having a tough time passing up Patrick Mahomes getting points in a Super Bowl. So it really is going to be this is going to be an ultimate battle because you're going to watch a premier defense against perhaps the best quarterback in the league. And it's like, okay, who comes out victorious in that?
Yeah,
matchup?
and you know that Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy will come up with some really good things to take advantage of some of the things the Eagles like to do on defense. The Eagles are so solid, though, man. They can get a lot done with their front four, and play whatever coverage or type of detail in the back end that you want to play. But they will get creative, and they play a lot of backyard football at Kansas City. That's one of the things that disrupt a lot of great defenses, playing some backyard football. You can have the best coverage, a nice pass rush, Patrick Mahomes can leak out one way, and guys start running crazy routes that weren't designed to go that way, and he makes those plays happen. So you can see some backyard football that could be very successful for Kansas City this weekend.
And Juice, the concept that Hawk brings up, and I don't poo-poo it, but I just don't see this man in that frame of mind. They're talking about Jalen Hurts. He's never been there. He might, nut up. He might not be able to handle the platform. I don't think about him, but other people. Have you ever seen that in your career where a dude's talented, he's like he can ball, and then you see the big stage, and you're like, oh, this is too big for him.
Yeah, it happens. It definitely happens. And some of these guys, man. Hell, we've seen some guys in the league that play well at 1:00 on Sundays, but it can't do anything on Sunday night or Monday nights in the NFL. And this is the biggest Monday night game or Sunday night game ever, right? One thing I do know about Jalen Hurts, though, is that he seems like he's got this cool, calm demeanor about him all the time. He really does. He's hiding it really well. He really is that cool about everything, man. So if that's the case, your quarterback is cool and calm, and collected. The rest of the team will probably fall in line, man. So it depends on how he comes out. If he comes out a little batty, it'll shake through the whole squad. But I think that he's got that demeanor that I've seen where he seems to be pretty much on point most of the time.
Solana, what are the odds that on the WQAM website there's going to be something along the lines of, Crowder afraid Eagles might nut up, something along those lines.
Not very high.
All right, just checking.
That's not a nasty phrase. You
I'm
know,
just checking. Not your typical sports phrase. I don't recall hearing that on First Take this morning.
Yeah, that's what happened. You tighten up. Was it tighten up? So I went that way.
Hey, you could have gone that route. We know what you're talking about, though, for sure.
We knew what you were talking about. There's no question. O.J. McDuffie is with us. I'll ask you a quick Dolphins question. By the way, he's wearing a fresh fish tank lid. If you don't subscribe to the fish tank, you are missing out if you're a Dolphins fan. Best Dolphins-related podcast out there because you get current, you get past, you get, on-field stuff, off-field stuff. Really good podcast he does with Seth Levitt.
Appreciate that.
How much do you love, or I guess you could go the other way, Vic Fangio being added as the Dolphins defensive coordinator?
Well, I don't know much about the defense side of the rock, you know what I mean? But what I heard and what everybody's been clamoring for, that was the big get. You know what I mean? If that's the big get, if we can get our guys back to playing defense the way they played 2 years ago at the end of that season, that's a huge pickup for us, man. I think the biggest thing for us, for last year, as we all know, was health. And we get some healthy guys back with Vic Fangio. I mean, we should be in great shape. I think that, the defense is what's so much more important than anything we could do on the offensive side of football. So Vic is a huge pickup for us. I know his talents were wanted, league wide. So the fact that we were able to land him on South Beach is a big deal for us.
And Juice, not offensive side of the ball, Tua's there, and not even the quarterback side of it, because we don't know if you trust Tua, if you don't trust Tua. There's two sides on that. But just around him, what do they need to address offensively this year? Because it seems like Vic Fangio is the answer. Defensively, they have the pieces. I'm with you. Offensively, Tua's your starter. He's healthy. What else needs to be nitpicked? Because Tyrann Mathieu is a Pro Bowl left tackle, but he might not be there every time. But how much equity do you spend on a left tackle when you have a Pro Bowler there? Like, I think those are a lot of decisions that need to be made offensively.
Yeah, Armstead. Yeah, Armstead is we need him there more than anything, man. But I think that was another issue, health with those guys. Now I think what's the new O-line coach we just got? I can't remember his name. We just picked up
Solano. What was his name? You just told us yesterday.
Yeah, but you think about it though, it's one of the most important positions in football. We've got a lot of guys there that have shown some flashes of talent on the O-line. That's the most important thing in my opinion. And plus, we don't have any running backs on the contract right now. So that's also an issue that we probably need to address. But I think the biggest thing that we've got is our skill guys in the offense from Mike McDaniel, our quarterbacks back with one more year, of being able to go out there in that system. That system is unbelievably tough when I understand. I played golf with Skylar Thompson yesterday, and he's talking about how, how there's so many words and stuff like that. Now he started finally getting it towards the end of the season. And so in all season for all those guys on offense, learning that vernacular, all those words that they have to learn in those play calls, I think it's going to help us out a lot. I think the offense is going to be even better this year than it was last year, especially, how good it was at the beginning. But the fact these guys are going to have a second year in this offense is going to be huge. But it all starts up front, Jenny, all up front.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring up the running back position. Funny story, I was at Pro Bowl last week in Vegas, and we're at the Raiders facility for that dodgeball, that new Pro Bowl stuff they do. And I see Josh Jacobs, and I come up to him, like, hey, what's up, man? Good, great season, all that stuff. I was like, yeah, you free, man. The Dolphins need a running back. 2 steps to my right was a person from the Raiders scouting department, and that dude was hot. Don't do that, Crowder. Don't be in here doing that. He got 5 hot. I wouldn't mind a Josh Jacobs on this team.
Man, he'd be great, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
he'd be great. Is that legal? Are you tampering? Were you tampering? Are you part of the organization where they call that tampering a little bit?
Can I tamper? I'm a radio
When's he officially
dude.
a free agent? When's the end of business? For this year, is he? Is it
What's
official?
that, the league year and all that? Okay, I was lying. I didn't really. That story was a lie.
I'm rethinking everything here because Crowder's telling a story, being around Josh Jacobs out in Vegas. OJ's playing golf with Skylar Thompson yesterday. My big highlight yesterday was going to Panera, getting a bread bowl.
Hey,
that's all I got.
How good was it, though? How good was that, though, Hawk? Don't understate that now. Don't understate that bread bowl now.
There's something about a bread bowl, right? There's something about a bread bowl. How much money did you take from Skylar on the golf course?
He didn't bet, man. He's a smart man. What's so strange about Scott? I love him, man. He's going to be one of my favorite quarterbacks in the future. No matter where he's at. Hopefully he's here for a while backing up Tua and then getting his opportunity later, man. but he swings a golf club left-handed. Everything else is right-handed. He swings his golf clubs.
Hanging out with Tua too much.
Exactly right, man. Using this set, right?
There you go. O.J. McDuffie, make sure you subscribe to the Fish Tank Podcast. Butch Berry, by the way, is the name of the offensive line coach that we were trying to think of moments ago.
I would have never remembered that one.
It was Solana. He fed me the line. I got to be honest there. Solana fed me the line. O.J. McDuffie, we appreciate you joining us. How are you going to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday? What's your setup?
Man, you know what? That's a great question. Since I moved out of my big house, man, we downsized a lot because we couldn't afford that big house anymore. We're gonna actually travel this time and see somebody else's, wreck somebody else's house and leave it a mess. You know what I mean?
Show up at Crowder's.
I might. Well, will you be there, Crowder?
What's that? No, I'm actually, me, I take $18 to go watch a game with somebody. I'm gonna get paid. But hey, you come watch the game with me? Where? At my house. How much? $26. Sounds good.
I actually forgot. He is watching with someone.
Yeah, hey, Juice, it's not a watch party. It's a random person paying me money to come sit with them.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, dog.
How much? I got you. Hey, Hawk, and speaking of OJ's old house, add in his resume the biggest and nicest game room I've ever seen in my life.
Like what kind of game room? Like
it was bigger than his house. Well, I call it Juice the juice room, the big purple, bro.
Like video games, pinball machines, pool table.
Yeah, the theater in the back was game room theater. It was pretty awesome. It was an add-on,
like silver spoons.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I didn't have the train coming through there, but yeah, otherwise it was good. Bro.
That's the silver spoons room, the train. What a great call! I knew someone would get that. I'm very glad it's OJ.
It had room for a real train to go in it.
There was an Amtrak station in O.J. McDuffie's game room. That's how good things were. Not too shabby, man. O.J. McDuffie from Faux Radio Row. Thank you, Juice.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go. Let's take a quick break here. We'll come back with more Hochman and Crowder.